Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be sometimes you just have a bad day. Alright? So, I'm going to take a couple of nice breaths out here. Not sure if you guys can see it. The camera's got to adjust, but down the driveway and across the neighborhood, across the street, there's a beautiful view of the sunset every night, and it's got this cool orangish pink glow. So, take a couple of breaths. Nice fresh air. We had a 70-degree day, but now that I'm out here in short sleeves, I'm realizing it's kind of chilly. Temperatures are going down. But the fresh air feels good. There's some flowers on the trees back over here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's pretty. So, topic. Sometimes you just have a bad day. And could be more symptoms, could be emotional distress, could be life stress, could be how we kind of feel about ourselves. In the grand scheme of things, I could be doing this better, I could be doing that better, I'm really slacking off on this. And, sometimes we just have a bad day. And candidly, that's okay. It's just part of life. My struggle right now, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but, last year it was kind of puffy in the face, and then early this year I started losing weight and feeling pretty good and managing my diet well and making some right decisions for myself. And lately, past couple of weeks, been off my game, eating more foods that I shouldn't be eating and really not being thrilled about it, but kind of a little bit of self-sabotage, I guess. Not sure what that's all about. But I put on almost 10 pounds that I lost in the beginning part of the year. So today kind of hit me that it was one of those days where I was just down, And all I can tell you is my way of approaching that is, there's definitely some beating myself up. Not too thrilled with myself. But my overall response is going to be, suck it up, Dan. We're all human. We make mistakes. And it's time to kind of get back on the horse. And know that if I lost the weight before, I'll be able to lose the weight again. And sometimes we just have a bad day. Today was one of those days for me. Definitely just off. So I just wanted to share that with you because I know many of us in this community have those days. Some of it is sadness that, Dan, I understand this TMS stuff, but I'm just not getting it. I don't know why it's not going away. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And then we tend to kind of judge ourselves or criticize ourselves for not doing this TMS thing right. Or maybe I'm just too anxious, or maybe my trauma is too deep, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm different. Maybe my situation is different and I don't really have TMS, right? I don't think that's the case. I think sometimes we just have a bad day. And in some cases, if we allow ourselves to get too wrapped up in it, those bad days can turn into bad weeks or bad months or bad years. And I had a lot of them. And those bad years, they still ended, and there's good days ahead. And so the message that I have for you is sometimes we have a bad day, sometimes we feel like we have a bad life, but I'm eternally optimistic that we can all turn things around for ourselves. That doesn't mean we have to become perfect. That doesn't mean we have to, perfectionism is a thing that's a challenge for all of us in the TMS community. That may be some of the reason why we're in the challenges we are. Because we want to be perfect. We want to do things right. We put so much damn pressure on ourselves. and my desire to eat perfectly and get perfectly in shape. Every time I skip a workout or eat some shitty food, there's the internal beating myself up. And I know that's not helpful. And I typically, just roll with it and figure it out. Today's one of those days where it's kind of particularly got me down, and I know I'm going to get through it, and then after a bad day like this, I kind of recommit myself to my overall health and fitness. I'm blessed that I don't have TMS. Because I'm not afraid of it, and that's the thing. There was a comment made the other day where somebody says, "Oh, Dan, in an interview you did with Danny Fagan, mytmsjourney.com, you mentioned that you don't have a daily routine as far as TMS goes. Because in this community, there's people who feel like, oh, you're going to have to journal every day for the rest of your life in order to keep TMS at bay." And I don't necessarily buy that. I think once you got it beat, you can go on and live your damn life and forget about this TMS stuff. Because the way I recommend it is that we get to the point where we feel our emotions, so they're not repressed and they're not threatening to burst into consciousness. I recommend that we notice our physical state, so that if we are if we are holding tension in our bodies, that doesn't convey safety. So if we learn to relax a little bit more, if we not take our thoughts and our mental state so seriously, if we do have symptoms, we don't freak out, right? So if I have some pain or discomfort, it doesn't really grab my attention. It's like, oh, okay, check in with what's going on emotionally, stress-wise. Then I go on with my day, and it usually abates very quickly. So do I get discomfort? Sure. But it never becomes chronic, and that's the thing. And so don't view this TMS journey as a lifetime of battling these symptoms and pains and all that stuff. I think once you get it, you get it. Which takes the pressure off of this seeming like a lifetime journey. It doesn't have to be. So I don't know. I'm loving this. You hear the birds? Well, you hear my phone. My phone's blowing up a little bit here. Listen to those birds. It's beautiful. So the sun is setting back behind those trees. That's the neighbor's yard across the street. I live in a gorgeous neighborhood. And no, I'm not rich, and no, I don't live in this. I don't own a property here. I just rent a little apartment above the garage. But I get the benefit of living in this really nice neighborhood. I love the birds. So listen, this is a little less of a specific topic. No deep insights here today, but just a recognition that we're all human. Sometimes things go up, sometimes things go down. Sometimes we feel up, sometimes we feel down. And no matter which way you're feeling right now, just know that every day brings a new day, a new opportunity to be more kind to yourself. And I'm preaching to the choir here instead of beating myself up for having a couple of bad weeks and getting off my game, food and, health and fitness wise. Cut myself some slack and kind of pick myself back up and say, go for it, Dan, you can do this. So I guess this is a little bit of a public declaration that I'm going to get my ass in gear and get back on track with eating properly. I've been asked to do a video on, foods, in general, no junk food, whole foods, real proteins, shop the perimeter of the grocery store, produce, dairy, meats, fish, seafood. If you shop and eat there, you're going to do quite well. I don't think we have to become fanatical about it. But most of the internal parts of the grocery stores are boxes with labels, and they come out of factory machines. That, in my opinion, is not real food. Anyway, off on a tangent here. Sometimes we just have a bad day. Today was one of mine. And it was kind of the culmination of a couple of weeks of just not doing what I know to be the right thing for me. And that's okay. And I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for you to say, oh, come on, Dan, you can do it. I'm sure I'm going to get that. That's not the purpose of this. I'm just trying to encourage you that if you're feeling down, it's okay. Feel down. If you're feeling less than satisfied with yourself, it's okay. Feel it. Experience it. Denying it doesn't make it go away. Acknowledge it. You don't have to do it publicly in front of thousands of people. Not quite sure why I'm doing it. But just know that if you're having a bad day or a bad week, or it feels like you got a sucky life, people can turn it around. I've got coaching clients that were at the level where they just didn't want to be on this planet anymore. And they've rebuilt their lives. They're getting their lives back. They're doing more. They're living more. They're smiling more. They're laughing more. They like being on this planet again. And so regardless of where you're at in your journey, in your perceptions of self, I'm eternally optimistic that every day we're on this planet is a gift. And as tough as each day is, know that better days are ahead. These pains, these symptoms, they're temporary. Absolutely temporary. So, hang in there, folks. Hang in there. Chin up. Smile at yourself in the mirror. Say, hey, we made it through a tough day. You guys and gals are a lot stronger and more wonderful than you might ever realize. You know, a lot of us feel pretty weak in this TMS journey. But I'll tell you what, after dealing with so many of you, I have never met people who are more strong and more committed to getting themselves back on track and living life than somebody who's gone through this journey. And while we might look at the regular people who don't have TMS as the lucky ones, doesn't matter. Don't care. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. You know, you guys and gals are amazing. I love you. I appreciate all the ongoing support. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Love you.